This is Aurora from Supercharged Science. You can download some free experiments in science that you can do with your kids today that use easy, inexpensive materials that can do real hands-on science projects. And you can get that from www.superchargedscience.com. I wanted just to take you on day 4 of our science adventure. We are in the Caribou-Targhee National Forest in northeastern Idaho, and we've got our tent set up here. We are at a campground. We just finished I made dinner. We made some pesto chicken sandwiches, and it was really super good. We have a fire that's being built over here because, you never know when you're going to be needing some s'mores. And so there's a lot of really cool things you can do with your kids that really don't involve a lot of setup, a lot of expensive materials. Let me walk over here. Let me show you the scientific equipment that I brought with me. Going over to my vehicle right here. We're going to open it up. And inside you can see got some towels, and this is my science equipment that I brought with me. We are taking a trip across the country where I'm going to be showing you how to do simple science experiments with your kids using minimal materials. I didn't bring a huge telescope. Most people don't have that, so I didn't bring it. What I did bring was a pair of binoculars, which you can see are in here. We're going to use this to go stargazing. These are rubber bands to keep the lens covers on. Okay. I also brought with me some rocks. I have a rock collection in there. I brought some tools. We're going to do some geology here. And now these tools are super simple. You probably already have these around the house, just not in the same place. I've got a teeny weeny flashlight, which is good for looking at mineral samples. This can be the bottom of a mug. This is a piece of unglazed ceramic tile. And this is for doing streak tests. You can tell one mineral from another. This is wrapped in paper, but it's a piece of glass. And so I can do a scratch test. I have a compass here. This is my little geology kit here. I've got a compass, so that'll tell me if something has a magnetic field. I also have, I don't know if I can open this with one hand, magnifiers. Yep, I got 2 of them here. Okay, and so this is great for if you don't have a compound microscope, which actually I do in here. You can use that as a compound microscope. I also have a nail, a magnet, a penny, really simple stuff. And you can actually do quite a bit with really simple materials like that. So we're going to do some geology tomorrow. So I'm going to be pulling this out as well as pulling out my rock comparison kit so you can kind of see how that goes and how that works. What else do I have in here? I have a couple of balls, which we will use later. Okay, in here, let me move this, move the towels out of the way so you can see more clearly. I have a guide because this is a microscope guide. So we're going to use these disposable medicine droppers. You don't need them. This is just really easy for us to pull some pond water out. So we can stick it on a slide and we can look at it with our compound microscope, which is in here. And this one doesn't use electricity, which is good because there's none here. And it's got a mirror on the bottom. And so we're going to take a look at how to use that. Now, if you don't have a microscope, no problem. You can use 2 handheld magnifiers, which are in here somewhere. Okay, and then this most people won't have, but I brought this because there's a few families that I'm meeting along the way who have said, hey, I'm on your route, come see me. So I wanted to bring something special for them. So this telescope only does one thing, but it does it really, really well. This is a Coronado. They cost about $500 to $600 without the eyepiece. The eyepiece is in here. And it looks at the sun safely. And so you can see solar flares, you can see sunspots, you can see coronal mass ejections, you can see really cool stuff. So, so that's really cool. I'm going to bring that. Here are my microscope slides, tweezers, and I think that's just about it. A couple more odds and ends. Here's the eyepiece, and I have some meteorites in here to share with some friends, and a couple more field guides here in the bottom. I have a field guide for meteorites, and so as you can see, it's really simple. Thank you. really simple experiments, really simple materials that you can use with your kids. And I'm going to show you how to do real hands-on science. For example, if you see a plant and you want to know, well, what kind of plant is that? You can use a really cool app called PlantNet. And it's on your phone. You take a picture of it. It uses GPS to figure out where you are, and it gives you like the 10 or 12 best matches of what it thinks it is after it's done image matching. So that's a really cool resource that you can use that's inexpensive. Another one we're going to use tonight when we do astronomy, we're going to do some stargazing. And so what you will be doing is we're going to be taking some binoculars, looking up at the sky, but you may be thinking, how do I know what's up there? So binoculars and telescopes are great, but they're really useless if you don't know where to point them. So there's a really cool app you can use for your phone called Stellarium, 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 and you can upload that to your phone, and then you use your phone and you just kind of use it and point to what you want to look at, and it will be able to tell you where you are and what angle and orientation your phone is at. So that's one that I like to use as well. So your homework assignment, and we're going to be doing this after it gets a little bit darker, is to see if you can find the moons around Saturn and or Jupiter, and to figure out which one is which. So really quick, the difference between planets and the stars you're going to see is that the planets are not going to twinkle, and they're also going to be following something called an ecliptic, which is a line, it's a path that the sun takes across the sky. So that's the same path that the moon takes. It's also the same path that all the planets take. It's because everything is in one plane, and so objects like Pluto are not in that plane. So most objects are going to follow more or less this line that includes like Venus and Mars and so forth. And so across the sky, you're going to see this happen. Now I should say Venus and Mercury are different because they're inside, they're between us and the sun, but all the other objects like Mars and Jupiter and Saturn and Uranus and Neptune. And so that's where you want to look for your different planets that you want to look at. So we're going to be doing astronomy here in a little bit, so I'm going to save a little bit more of that discussion for a little bit later, but hopefully I've given you some ideas, some quick things you can do with your kids. Tomorrow we're going to be going to Yellowstone, and I'm really super excited that you're going to be joining us there too. So I will see you tomorrow. Take care.